SearchPoint doesn't need any additional NeOn plugins in order to function correctly, although it does require that the Adobe Flash plugin is installed into your preferred web browser. We can see that SearchPoint is now loaded because we have a new action item labelled Search for Ontologies with Context, which should now be selected. In order to search for new ontologies, we must first start the SearchPoint plugin. This can be most easily done by clicking on this action item, which in turn brings you to this screen. Let's expand it in order to see the presentation view more clearly. SearchPoint uses the same paradigm as any computer search engine. First, we must specify a query. Let's assume that we're interested in an ontology that contains a person as a concept. To begin with, we'll enter the word person as a query, after which we'll then tell it which search engine should be used in order to perform the search. For this demonstration, we'll use the Watson ontology search. Other possibilities include both the Swoogle and Google ontology search engines. Next, we need to choose what kind of contextualization we'd like to employ. To begin with, we'll use the automatically generated topics derived from the textual description of each ontology found. The Watson ontology search now returns a list of up to 200 different ontologies. Here we can see the top 10. The first few ontologies are not particularly well described. Every ontology has only one key concept, namely person. For a user to have to look at each ontology individually would be very time-consuming, of course. However, here on the right, we have a visualization panel that extracts 10 different topics from our list of found ontologies and displays them graphically. So, for example, here we have topics defined as man, woman, male, female, and so on. These represent more of a biological concept of person. Here, on the other hand, we also have a person, but this time conceptualized as organisation, projects, address, and so on. This would be useful if we were more interested in the person within the context of corporations, perhaps. We can click anywhere within this presentation, so let's click here. We can immediately see that the ontologies have rearranged themselves. The first couple in the list contain person, but also in the context of female, male, man and woman, among others. Let's say this particular ontology is of interest to us. We can browse it in order to further explore the actual contents of the ontology, after which we can then return to the previous screen by pressing backspace on the keyboard. If we're satisfied with this ontology, we can click its associated Import button. This brings up the Web Import Wizard, in which we're asked which ontology project we'd like to import, in addition to the physical URI of the ontology. We've just used a test project here. Once this has been done, it's simply a question of clicking Finish. Now the ontology has been successfully imported into the NeOn project. That's it, all done, thanks to the SearchPoint NeOn plugin.